Hey guys, how's it going? Attacking Toucans here, welcoming you back to Let's Build the Ultimate Theme Park in Planet Coaster. Last episode, we built this beautiful station for our car ride that goes through our medieval castle town little section that we're working on. We still have quite a bit of work to do on this section of the park, but for today, we are going to zoom right back on over to the sci-fi theme section and add on more to this giant sci-fi complex. Now the main thing I want to focus on today is the roof and the ceiling for this giant complex, because building the ceiling is one of the most time-consuming things to do in these theme park simulation games sometimes, and this is a really huge building, so I want to start capping it off so we can see what the building as a whole is going to look like. Now we still have a ton of work to do on the inside of this building as well. We still have to finish that little food court, and there's just tons of little odd end things we have to do. I really want to make a cool tunnel that the coaster goes through eventually. I don't do that this episode, but I want to build a cool like sci-fi robotic looking tunnel that the coaster goes through when it goes under the ground. And then we also need to kind of just finish off the bumper car area, kind of work on some of the landscaping around the building. We still have a bit of structure to do around the monorail as well. My estimate for how long it's going to take to finish this building is 2.5 episodes, including this episode. So I think in one more episode and then another half an episode, we will get everything finished up, which is nice to say, because we've been working on this thing for, I don't even know how long, maybe 4 or 5 episodes now. It's been crazy, but it's looking really, really cool, so it's been well worth it. So right now I am working on just some of the basic framework for this building, using just regular wall pieces and regular roof pieces. I'm going to try my best to cover up all of these just bland looking wall pieces with tons of machinery parts. I'm really becoming a fan of using just the rocket ship pieces as separate individual components to just decorate this building, because there's lots of just large engine pieces and wings and holes of spaceships that you can choose from to create your own custom spaceships in this game. But I like using the separate pieces to create decorative elements to buildings because I think they work really well. It's very good, and the fact that you can place them at whatever angle you want and anywhere in space that you want, it really just allows us to have a lot of freedom. And speaking of freedom, the summer update for Planet Coaster just came out a few days ago, and oh my goodness, they added some stuff that I didn't even realize was going to be a thing. I went over some of the change logs last episode and talked about all the new additions they're adding to the game. The biggest one being fireworks. Fireworks is probably the main thing they focused on. But one of the things that excites me the most is the fact that you can add in television screens and post your own videos on those television screens. But something I did not realize is they also added a wall piece it's just a regular wall size block. And with this wall piece, you're able to add your own video or images. Now what this means is that you can pretty much add your own custom textures, because if you can add your own images, that means you can add your own textures or bitmaps or anything like that as an image, which means custom textures on walls are now a thing on this game. But the thing that you can use images or videos, you can have your own custom video textures as well. So we're about to start seeing some really awesome stuff in the Planet Coaster world, I am assuming, because that is just a game changer. And this is the first time in the game they've added the ability for completely custom content to be added to the game. Well, I guess you could have added sounds and music, but the fact that you can add your own textures to walls and stuff, oh, I'm so excited, guys. I haven't even played around much with it. Later on, I add a giant video billboard just so we can see what that looks like, and I think it ties in very well. But man, I cannot wait to play around with some of these video textures. And you can also just make advertisements for your park, so like film different things in your park and then put videos of that up and just make everything seem super realistic. You can make commercials for your theme park, like promoting new rides, and then put up billboards and stuff in your park showing that off. It's just really awesome, like the type of things that you can make in this game, and they're still updating it constantly. I mean, this was another free update they added to the game, but as you can see that little lock next to the word more filters? I think later in the episode, after the update, because I think I recorded the first half of this episode before the update, but now it says DLC, so they are adding DLC to the game eventually. I'm not entirely sure what they're adding, but the fact that they're adding DLC to the game means they're just going to keep on piling on the content to this game and I'm assuming they're still going to add on even more free content. So the Planet Coaster gods are smiling down upon us right now. Now there's one piece I wish they would add to this game, and that is a corner roof piece for this metallic sci-fi roof. I'm having to cover it up with these gigantic blocks, which I think is okay. As I said, I've been using some of these ship pieces and engine pieces to make some cool looking technological patterns on the roof, and I think it looks really cool. But I still think it's rather silly that there is not a corner piece for this futuristic ceiling texture. Now this angled section of the building with the bumper cars inside of it was kind of annoying to try to blend into the other section of the building. It was, especially on the inside later, I tried my best to like make it all seem like it flowed really well together to make it not seem like I just like butt another building into this building. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult to combine different angles of buildings. Fortunately, you're able to cover up all of your seams with different scenery pieces like I'm doing with all these ship pieces. Hopefully I'm enunciating this okay. It reminds me back, saying that reminds me back of my Pikmin Let's Play, where I would reference in that game Olimar, he crash lands on Earth and his ship is destroyed, and I kept referring to his ship pieces. We had to collect his ship pieces, but it sounded like I was saying shit pieces and people could never hear the difference, and I'm assuming the same exact thing is happening right now. Just some basic memories back in the old Let's Play days, back when I did a Let's Play of Pikmin. I need to Let's Play Pikmin 2. I have started a Let's Play of Pikmin 2 before. I think twice, but both times I just wasn't content with it because it's my favorite game of all time, and I feel like if I'm to Let's Play Pikmin 2, it has to be one of my best Let's Plays of all time. So I'm very like scared to try again. I will try again eventually, but it's just one of those things where it's just very daunting because I feel like I have to do the game justice because it's such a good game. At the same time, Pikmin is a rather hard game to Let's Play because it's a game that doesn't have very much dialogue, and so you have to consistently be talking about random stuff a lot, and so I remember being very challenged while Let's Playing it as well. But anyways, this game isn't Pikmin, so I should probably stop talking about Pikmin. We can talk about the next best thing, Planet Coaster, yeah. So now I am trying to really blend in this building into the ground because there were some really weird terrain issues. So I'm just covering up all of the blank spaces with these rocks. I also think these rocks just look way cooler than having plain ground next to a building. Even though I'm using it to kind of hide some flaws, it still looks way cooler. Just the fact that there's some big, just gigantic rocks. This is something you would see in real life, I feel. Because rocks are really good for landscaping. Something about rocks just looks so nice, especially when they're big, white, polished rocks with some bushes around them. I think they just look so good, and I like using them to my advantage. I'm very happy they added so many rocks to Planet Coaster, and I hope they just add more rocks because rocks are one of my favorite things about this game, sadly. Near where I live, there's this giant resort called Big Cedar, and there's another place right next to it called Top of the Rock. It's like this really nice restaurant with a really big golf course next to it, and it is owned by the person who owns Bass Pro. If you guys have ever heard of Bass Pro, I know there's a lot of Bass Pros across America, so I think it's a relatively well-known store. If for some reason you haven't heard of it, it's just a really huge camping, hunting, fishing store, just a store really that revolves around outdoor activities, and usually they're really well decorated inside. They put in tons of huge fish tanks and giant waterfalls and really just cool decorations. But fun fact about Bass Pro is the very first Bass Pro ever created is in where the town I live in, Springfield, Missouri, and the person who made it, Johnny Morris, he made this resort, Big Cedar, down by Branson, Missouri. And when he made this place called Top of the Rock, which is just a really nice couple restaurants with a nice golf course, he also brought in these really large decorative boulders for landscaping. And I think the price for the boulders were about $10,000 per boulder. So these giant landscaping boulders cost so much money, and so that's why I like adding lots of rocks to my theme parks, because it shows, yeah, we're so rich, we can spend $10,000 per boulder. Come at us. Also, what I just did to the bumper cars is I took these wall pieces and I hid the really colorful roof to the bumper cars because I thought the colorful, really just bright roof didn't fit the sci-fi theme. So in order to combat that, I just covered up the edges of the go-karts with some walls, and I'm putting these light panels on the sides instead. and then I just completely cut off the top of the ceiling because it just did not fit. I wanted to keep it like really sleek looking sci-fi type of go-karts. I mean bumper cars, sorry. Speaking of go-karts, I still haven't played around with them in this game yet, and I'm not entirely sure why, but I feel like I should because you're able to drive the go-karts, which is really freaking cool. So that's something I definitely need to do soon. I don't know why I've been putting it off, but something else I really want to do is I've really been getting into Twitch streaming. Like I said, I've been streaming some of this gameplay footage. I think the first about 7 minutes of this episode were live streamed, and then everything else is just stuff I've been doing on my own. But I think it'd be really fun to just start streaming some campaign mode. The only reason I don't want to do it yet is I don't want to do any other Planet Coaster series on my channel or in general until I get a better computer. That way I can play this game with the full graphics potential, just because I feel like I'm not doing the game justice by playing it with the graphics set to very low all the time. And then it just looks even worse on recording, honestly. I mean, this game looks so much better than my recording of it makes it look. So I guess that's what I'm waiting for, is I'm waiting until I can upgrade my computer, which I'm hoping I can do soon. My roommate, my ex-roommate, because he had to move back to St. Louis, Squillistipated, he just gave me a brand new graphics card. Well, it's not brand new. It was the graphics card that used to be in his computer, but he always makes sure to have like the really highest, best new pieces in his computer. So the graphics card that he gave me was his old graphics card, but it's still a really nice graphics card. Anyways, he just gave it to me, and I went to install it, but I wasn't able to install it properly because my power supply wasn't good enough in order to make the graphics card work. It just didn't have enough inputs or outputs on it in order to power the graphics card. So I got to buy a new power supply, and then I'll be able to install the new graphics card. And then hopefully when that happens, I'll be able to play this game with much better graphics. Also, video billboards. That is what I'm putting in right now. That's what I've been working on for the past like 15 seconds. They look so freaking beautiful. I put a gulpy slushy billboard on the outside of the building. I thought it looked just really nice. It looks really cool. It looks like it's built into the building. It's revolutionary. One of my favorite updates they've added to this game thus far. It's just so nice looking. A cool idea I have for the park, since they added those new video billboards, is I think it'd be pretty cool to build an actual working IMAX in this game. A giant movie theater with just one screen. And I don't think there's a way to do this, but like have a way for the people to actually sit in seats, kind of like they're about to watch a movie. I'm not sure if that's possible, but that would be super sweet, honestly. I bet now that that's an option though, we will start to see some movie theaters being built in this game. I mean, this game is a theme park simulation game, but with how many tools you were given, you can create way more than just theme parks. And eventually, I'm sure they're gonna add like water park expansions and zoo expansions. Like, it would be cool to see this be just the ultimate tycoon game as far as when it comes to just like tourist attractions like that. Like, what if they even added like a ski resort tycoon onto it as well, where you could add like build ski slopes? Like, the sky is the limit for this game. They've pretty much created this game to be the mother of all games, and I'm just so excited. But yeah, even though we might build an IMAX, it won't be for a long time, because even when it comes to just the things we're working on right now, this sci-fi complex and the medieval village with the car ride going through it, we still have another like 4 straight episodes of just working on this stuff until it's done. I'm going to be so excited when it's done because I'm always excited to work on new projects. I'm still enjoying these builds, but as I said, it's nice to work on new stuff every once in a while. Like, I might go and start like a new project within the next couple of episodes just so we can start like expanding things again and stop working on the same stuff, because I like to expand and see what we're going to be adding on in the future. But I mean, for now, we're still working on the same old. Now I'm working on the corner of this building that is the part that I've been looking forward to the least, just because I've had entirely no idea what I'm going to do with it. What I end up doing does look good. I don't know why I was so daunted by this task, but for some reason, there was just like so much going on in this back corner, and there still is a lot going on, because the one thing that's going to take a lot of time as well is decorating the line for this roller coaster, like the corridors that we made. That's gonna be a fun project to work on. I almost completely forgot about that. And then where the exit goes out and meets up with the exit for the bumper cars. Yeah, that's another area I'm not looking forward to working with, just because it's a really tight spot. So pretty much all I'm gonna have to do is just clean it up and make it look nice. Yeah, this was a really weird corner to work on, and I kind of just like put some objects in here and let's move them around and try to make it all look really nice and slick. Overall, I still did a fairly good job. Maybe not the best part of the building, but it's not a bad part either. It's just, I think it all tied in. And I just love using these spaceship parts so much. They're just like built to be these like decorative pieces almost. I don't think they tried to make it that way, but that's what I ended up using it for, which I think is really good. Just thinking outside of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. I would have watched that show. That's like one of those shows from my childhood that I remember watching a lot, but at the same time, I hardly remember anything about that show. So I kind of just like want to watch it again and just see what that show is all about again. Did you guys ever watch Out of the Box as a kid? Or was it just me? I'm sure it wasn't just me. Now there is a few things about this building that I've added that I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that way. There's just a few things where I've built it and that I'm like, is that really the way I want it to look? So there might be a few changes made in the future, but like right now I'm just playing around with a lot of things. Not everything is 100% concrete or set in stone, so we just gotta kind of work with it and just see what works, what doesn't. If something ends up looking bad, just let me know in the comments if you don't like something. Like this roof out here, this is one of those things where I'm kind of iffy on, having all these giant like capsule things on top. So let me know what you think about that. If you don't like it, I might change it. Like for me, I like it, but at the same time, I feel like it might be a bit too much. So I don't know, it's hard to tell, but I'm open to any suggestions. Alright, now to close off the episode, we're going to do a little bit more landscaping out here, get some of our $10,000 boulders, and just stack them up and cover up some of this weird ground. This episode's a little bit shorter than usual, but that's because I did a lot of tight editing just to keep the episode flowing really well. I'm trying to make these episodes like a decent length. I'm trying to get a lot done per episode, but at the same time, I'm trying to make the episodes not last too long in their entirety because I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time with them. So that is why I'm trying to keep them a little bit tight. But we still got, like, I think I started with 3.5 hours of footage before this. But anyways, I think that is it for today. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Planet Coaster. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one.